the name?
U.S. Treasury.
Well,
Oh, no,
Federal
that's
Reserve.
true. That is
Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve, that's it.
Federal Reserve.
There it is.
And there's nothing federal about it. Not one little bit. But as long as people don't know that, and as long as they go ahead and receive it,
Trust it.
the Federal Reserve says, one day in the future, I will give you $1 in gold for that bill.
It used to be. They were in.
And they know full well they're not going to do it. So do you people that send receiving it. But this is what we work on. So it's not talking about money here, it's talking about merchandise. Go to any port. Jacksonville over here is not a really big port. It's not like New Orleans or New York or
San Diego.
San Francisco, San Diego. It's not any big port. Even Mobile, Alabama. I was surprised I went there and it just loaded with ships bringing in merchandise to be sold here in this country. So this is talking, I believe, about United States, maybe Southern Canada, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm just saying what I think. But the thing of it is this. It's going to be destroyed completely, shortly, and fully. Whatever that place is. Revelation chapter 14. I got two messages here in chapter 14. I'm gonna have to give you both of them because Dan has done trumped all over one of them.
Why?
But let's go on.
Happened last week.
And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000. Now these people were kind of strange because they had his father's name written in their forehead. That's something, isn't it? 144,000. I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, as the voice of great thunder. I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harp, and the singers there was a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were past tense, redeemed from the earth. These are they which are not defiled with woman, that woman that we were talking about in chapter 17. For they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb, whithersoever he goes. These were, past tense, redeemed from among men, being the first fruits of Elohim and the Lamb. Dan was showing you, he was waving things up here all day showing me. Today is the day of first fruits. For what, 1,500 years, something like that, on the day of first fruits, every time we had Passover and unleavened bread, there was a day of first fruits. And the priest got out there and he took them fruits and he waved them. All right. Just remember that, okay? Now I saw another angel in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting news to preach to them that dwell on the earth, every nation, kindred, tongue, and people. saying with a loud voice, Fear Elohim, give honor to him, for the hour of his judgment has come. Worship him, who made heaven and the earth, and the sea, and the fountains of water. So here we see the first fruits, 144,000. See them there in heaven. They're right there with Yeshua all the time. Then we saw another angel. He says here that the good news was preached all over the world. You know, and I have to believe it has been. I know there's been a lot of false preached all over. But I have to believe that somehow he's got this good news to every nation on the earth. The true good news. But as soon as that is done, which is not done yet, and besides that, we might have to be the ones to do it. I don't know. We may somehow have to do it.
Going out to the world.
He can do it. He can do it in no time at all and cause it to happen. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. You notice every time that you see this mentioned, here, Babylon the Great has fallen. In chapter 18, Babylon the Great has fallen. In Jeremiah, Babylon the Great has fallen. Always. Twice. Repeat. I believe that means because it's established that it's going to happen. That's what Joseph told Pharaoh when he went in. He said, Pharaoh said, you had this dream twice because it's established. It's going to happen. So, we can't walk out the door and say, well, the end's coming, so I'm going to quit doing it. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to quit what I'm doing. Because we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what the time and the days of these things are. But we do know it's time not to be falling away.
We might know the season, but we don't know the day or the hour.
Right. So let me go to the other part of this message, all right? Matthew 27.
Big check.
Verse 51. We're starting 50, I guess. And Joshua, when he had cried with a loud voice, yielded up the spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in two from the top of the bottom, and the earth did quake, and rocks rent. By the way, there were two veils. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of their graves after his resurrection. This did not happen at the time of his crucifixion. It happened after his resurrection. We know he was resurrected. We know he resurrected the evening before the beginning of that first day of the week, right before sundown. And after that, the next day, the day of first fruits, Joshua said, "Don't touch me. Don't touch me. For I have not yet ascended to the Father. What was he doing? He was fulfilling the first fruits. He took that 144,000 people who rose on that day out of their graves. And he took them and presented them to the Father as the first fruits. Isn't that what we just read in chapter 14?
Yeah.
These are the first fruits unto Yah and to Yahshua. Yesterday when we were discussing things out there, I was reading in 1 Corinthians 15. I said, well, let me turn to it. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I said, page 1159, and verse 22, for as in Adam all die, even so in the Messiah shall all be made alive, every man in his own order. The Messiah, comma. I said, put that comma in there and you'll understand it. The first fruits. All of those that rose on that day as the first fruits, some of them were seen in the city. They're never mentioned again, whatever happened, until people say, oh, they all went back and got in their grave, or they all lived out their lives, and all kinds of things come up. No, they were resurrected. And he took them and presented them to the Father as the first fruit. And you read about them in chapter 14. Every man in his own order, the Messiah, Yah, comma, the first fruits, Yah, semicolon, and after they that are the Messiahs at his coming. The Messiah first. The first fruits was risen. And now we're waiting for ours, right? Revelation chapter 7. We're going to read about another group of 144,000. So many people are so surprised. What? Another group of 144,000? Yeah. Yeah. And I believe that they're all right here in the States. I believe that he said, come out of her. All of you get out of her before all her destruction is coming. And I saw four angels. Four angels. Isn't that something? We talked about that yesterday. Standing on the four corners of the earth, holding the four spirits of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, neither the sea nor any tree. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living elephant. Now, what was on that first 144,000? What was their seal? The name in the forehead. Yeah, that's the seal. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels, to whom it was given to hurt, to destroy the earth and the sea. Remember, I told you yesterday that these four chariots and the horses contain the destructions, judgments of Yahweh. Well, don't let these things happen until we have sealed the servants of Yahweh, Elohim, in their